Welcome, pilots. Well, it turns out Zavier's at it again. He's made some great updates to the free flight simulator, and I had a chance to play with it this morning, and I think I figured it out. I want to show what I've learned so far, and maybe y'all can tell me if I missed something. What he's added is the ability to add waypoints to a flight. You know, we've had autopilot for a while now, where we can dial in a heading and head in that direction. Well, this one will allow us to pick waypoints all the way to from our departure to our destination. We're going to fly around San Francisco today, like I like to do, but this is intended for cross country or even worldwide flight. The announcement said that you can program up to 10 hours of flying continuously if that's something that you want to do. In order to access this new feature, you have to go to Nav, and up here in the very top is a button called Flight Plan. Now, I tried this on my laptop this morning, and that button wasn't there. So I think he's still working out the glitches. As a matter of fact, all these buildings were in the wrong place this morning, and that ironed itself out already. So that's all good. So you click on this button, and then you see a new interface here. You got the waypoint, the destination, the track, the altitude, and the speed. I tried adding waypoints and clicking around. I couldn't figure it out, so I just kept playing with it. The first thing we want to do is we add our arrival point, which is these two new buttons. When this is active, these two new buttons will show up. So this is, you're going to put the airplane there to take off, but this one is to put the takeoff or the departure waypoint on your planner. And now we can click it again, and it's already in there. Move to take off from that location. Okay, so in this example, we're just going to fly around the airport a little bit. So I'm trying to get to runway heading to about a mile or two out, and I'm going to add a waypoint. To do that, you right click on the mouse, and you select the GPS fix point, and it makes that spot there. Then you left click, and you add it to your waypoints, just like that. Now you can get rid of it by no, you can't get rid of it now. Dog's barking. So that's our first waypoint. Now you can tell it's off. You can't move it. All you can do is take that off, throw that in the trash, and then make another waypoint if you're that picky. But I'll show you a way around that here in a second. So there's our second waypoint, and we want to take a hard right turn to get us back to our approach. So we'll put in another one, add it to there, just that fast, it's done. So it's all great except for one thing. I forgot to put an altitude. We're going to put our first altitude at 3,000 feet and our speed at 250 knots. Then our next waypoint, we're going to put altitude of 5,000 feet and speed of 250 knots. Now, that's all set. So we're going to take off, we're going to take a right turn, and then we're going to go in that direction. And we want to come back to base so we can land this puppy. So I only have to add one more, and I'll explain. Well, one more, and I'll explain why. We add this one and copy it to there. We make it 5,000 feet and 900 miles per hour, or 900 knots. Perfect. So now what do? We're going to fly all the way here real fast, and we're going to be about, I'm estimating, 10 miles out. I have to move him again because we want to make this our arrival on our plan. Put him back here. Takeoff. Now you can see we go right turn, and then right turn. Now what it's going to do is it's going to fly real fast to here, and then It's going to cut the engines. I'm going to deploy the brakes and some flaps to slow us down. It's going to take a big old turn, and instead of trying to get back to this line, it's going to join the radio navigation approach vector and glide slope. So this is going to kind of turn off these manual settings and get us back onto the to the radio nav, and you'll see that work on approach. I'm going to get us off the ground and probably talk a lot less so I can fast forward through this flight for you. I'm going to go 50% flaps. I'm going to go ahead and let autopilot take this. I'm going to go to 3,000 feet. The reason I do this is because I got it fixed right there, but sometimes that first waypoint is not at the true runway heading. So I fly it this way on the heading, and then once we take off, I'll select nav, and that'll enable all these waypoints. So what I just did is I clicked this check mark because we're done with that one. And it automatically selected the next waypoint. So we're taking off, pressing G to retract the gear, close bracket twice to retract the flaps, and now I'm going to click the nav button, and we're headed towards this first waypoint right here. One thing I noticed is it doesn't quite get to the waypoint. It kind of makes us to turn a little ahead of time so that it's got a nice smooth loop instead of just being herky-jerky and missing it. You'll see that in just a second. Take a look back at the airport. And if you select show path, it'll give you a nice little yellow line showing where you've been. I just cleared it when I showed you. And see how it started that turn? Anyway, it's going to do the same thing. It's kind of round these off a little bit. Alright, as you can see, we hit our last waypoint before our arrival or destination waypoint. I usually run at 250 knots until we hit 10 miles out, then I'll slow to 100 or 200 knots. A couple things I want to show you while we're making our approach is once you have your flight plan done, if you like it, you enjoy flying it, you can save it to your hard drive as a JSON file. I haven't had luck with it because I tend to edit them and I mess it up. It's my own fault. But you can load them. You click this button and it'll go to your file explorer and you can load that JSON file and it'll populate all this. I have had luck with the copying this to the clipboard, pasting it to Notepad, and then copying it again and pasting it by clicking that button. It works really good if you don't miss a comma or a parenthesis or something like I tend to do. But anyway, as you can see, we have joined the radio nav and glide slope, and instead of coming straight down and trying to rejoin this line, it is joining the radio nav. And also you can see the speed is a little off. It's typically off unless you're headed directly to the radio transmitter receiver. If you're coming at a 45-degree angle, it's not reading the exact knots per hour. But as you get closer to the receiver and as you're headed in the right direction, now it's showing 199 and we're set at 200. I will also manually set the altitude at 50 so I can change from radio nav to just normal navigation, autopilot, so that I can have a little more control of the descent. The radio nav tends to let you hit a little hard and also a little early, I find. So once we get down to 5 miles out, I'll slow down to 175 and I will lower the gear and deploy the flaps to 75%. Once we reach 3.5 miles, I'll slow again to 150 and go full flaps. And then once I get below 2 miles, about 1.5 miles out, I will switch to regular heading mode of the autopilot in preparation of taking control of the airplane manually. Look at that, I have no gear. That's what a cross check is for, to make sure you got your gear down. I'm going to float this landing so the gear has time to come down. That's hilarious. Give me green, or up the flat. There we go. So there you go. The new Waypoint planner from GeoFS. I like it. I also noticed something else. I kind of messed up and didn't turn my microphone. This is the 4th time I'm recording this, by the way. And I did notice I used the playback mode to get back to a certain spot, and this is the beginning of the flight. It recorded the whole darn thing, and but now this is new. You can actually save the recorded flight and then reload it some other time. So if you have a particular flight that you liked, you can now load it back and play it over and over and over. Anyway, that's what I learned so far today. I hope you learned something new from this. I enjoy making these videos. I know I don't do them often enough. As always, thank you for watching.